I was pretty confused. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why are my pressures so good, but I have no delta T? Okay, so I am at my last call of the day. It was a call that I was at yesterday. They had no cooling. I came, system was frozen, so pulled the disconnect, left the fan running. Told her she could try tomorrow, see if it cools, or we could just come back. So she tried to see if it would cool. Tomorrow is today. It wasn't cooling, so I came back. She's a good customer. I'd rather get her taken care of before the holiday weekend, and show you what I'm looking at now. Got my tool bag, and I got the 410, as well as the sealant and the dye, which we have good luck with, and I'm going to explain exactly what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I checked our refrigerant pressures and temperatures. I checked our delta T inside. There is no delta T inside. We got 40 degrees of superheat and 1.7 degrees of subcooling with a low vapor saturation temperature. So this system's low on refrigerant. Now, with every single customer, we present 5 options. The first option is doing nothing. The system will continue to do as it's doing, which is nothing. The second option is we can add refrigerant with no guarantee or warranty on how long it'll last, which is never recommended. The third option is we can add refrigerant with the sealant and dye in hopes to stop the leak, maybe slow it down. But if not, that dye is in it and we can look for it at a later date. And it also gives them the instant gratification of cooling for the time being, which is why many people pick that option, because they want that instant gratification, but they also want to try to do something about it, and that's what this does. I like the sealant and dye a lot. Mike likes it a lot. We have had customers with sealed leaks and significantly slowed down leaks by using it. And the dye makes it much easier to find. I would much rather look for dye than look for the world's smallest hole. I'm just going to purge my hose so we get some liquid. Got my tank on the scale. Not going to add anything yet, but I'm going to get it all ready. So the customer did pick this option, as you can see, because I'm adding the refrigerant, sealant, and dye. But the fourth option is to go with the leak search and repair, which I like to do. I have no problem trying to look for leaks. Sometimes it gets frustrating, but I have the equipment for it, so I would much rather do that than just not fix the problem. So I'm taking the sealant dye out of the packet, the Easy Seal, because I'm going to put that in first so it starts moving through the system, and because I can use the refrigerant pressure from the tank to push it in, and I'll show you that. So I got my probes on here because I always use probes, and I have this little T here where I can put my probe on and then I can add my refrigerant. So here I'm putting on that dye pouch, little stick. I'm gonna connect this on there. We got our refrigerant connected and purged. We got our scale set up. Just gonna turn it on and tare it. Tare it right there. And I'm just gonna let that shoot through, and you can see that yellow color disappears. 0.75 ounces or 1 ounce was significant enough to shoot that sealant through. So I'll disconnect this little tube. This is now garbage. I can put my charging hose on. Now I can slowly add refrigerant. Not sure how many pounds I'm gonna have to add. You could already hear a huge compressor difference as soon as refrigerant is put into that. But not sure how many pounds I'll have to add. We have a TXV. We definitely have sufficient airflow. We have good ductwork, nice clean filter. So I'm gonna charge it little by little. I'm gonna start off with a pound because of how low I can tell the system already is. And we'll see how the numbers change. So far, 13, 14 ounces, 15 ounces, 16 ounces, so that's a pound. And we'll just see what happens there. We'll let the pressure stabilize. We want to bring our subcooling up and our superheat down, which is what adding refrigerant will do. See, our vapor saturation is holding a little bit higher than it was before. Usually around 40, 43 degrees is where that tends to be, but it changes. Subcooling is starting to get a little bit higher. It could take up to 15 minutes for it to really stabilize, but usually it happens fairly quickly. So you can see here our temperature on our suction line now is dropping, which means that our superheat should be dropping, but see how that does. Our subcooling went up a tiny bit. That liquid saturation temperature went up. And it's also a good idea, and I don't have it done right now, but you could take your supply and return temperature probes that link to your app, and you could put them in and see how that's doing. I'm not overly concerned at this particular job because I know that it has nice ductwork and is installed well. There's a Bosch unit that we installed in the attic right next to it. So I'm gonna go for a little bit more because I want to bring that subcooling up higher. Ideally 10 degrees of subcooling. Fortinet refrigerant. It is a 36 3-ton unit, manufactured in 2013. I have never added refrigerant to this particular system before, so I'm not too sure if there's ever been refrigerant added in the past. But I have a feeling this is probably the first time for this one. Got these units here, that, and then there's another ream just past that Bosch. So a lot of systems here. Now the subcooling is starting to jump up a little bit more. We're at 1.5 pounds. I'm gonna bring it up to 2. Our valve open. Close that off and see what happens. Hopefully our subcooling starts to climb up a little bit. It is also, it's cool outside. It is 62 degrees currently and humid. So not exactly an exact science charging on a 60-degree day, but in my experience with these ream units, the TXVs and everything, it's all pretty, pressures stay pretty similar. They just seem to be lower in general. think we're gonna go off with another pound here. I like the JobLink probes a lot. I like their app. Find it useful and easy enough to use. I don't like the Measure Quick app. I think this one looks nicer. It's easier to just navigate. I can link my scale. Like if I didn't have this, I could just link my scale directly to my phone and I can look at it right there. It's not the same reading because you have to zero this one independently of whatever this is zeroed to. Could do some electrical readings if I had the field piece meter, which is very cool. Underload capacitor tool, very cool. It gives you your air side readings when you have your psychrometers hooked up. What else do we got here? Evacuation. I just ordered their micron gauge. Should be coming here very shortly. I have one of their leak detectors, so I can link that up right here. You could do a nitrogen test with your probe and your pressure clamp. Combustion analyzer, if you have one, the field piece, you could test it, or you could link it up with here. So I think this app is super nice. So 12 degrees of subcooling. It's about 10 degrees under superheat. I am happy with these numbers. It's pretty much exactly where I would like them to be. It'd be nice if the vapor saturation was up a little more, but considering the temperature, it makes sense that it would be lower. So the system's cooling, and I'll go inside with my psychrometers and I'll show you the delta T that we got. Okay, here's our thermostat. So we got 73 degrees inside. This is my supply psychrometer, which I'm gonna stick right there. It's got a supply psychrometer in there. Our return. Return is right there. Just gonna put it right here. It's close enough. Now, we could take a look. Now, my probes outside are connecting, even though they're all the way downstairs, which is another reason I like the field piece. What is going on here? Our return is reading 69, but that's not it's not possible. Okay, I just had another mini little problem to solve. The heat wasn't shutting off, and I don't know why. There's no call for heat, and the zone pumps downstairs don't show a call for heat, so for some reason it's getting some sort of cross flow. It's already 6 o'clock. I'm just gonna shut the valve off for that heating zone and tell them that that's gonna need further diagnosis. But now you could see our return is 73. We're getting a better delta T as that hot water coil in the ductwork cools off from the system running and cooling. Okay, so that's an issue for another day. She doesn't care. She just wants the cooling working. So the cooling is now working. I think that it's getting some sort of cross flow from another zone. Maybe there's a bad check valve in that circulator pump, because that pump's not on and running, but it's still flowing hot water through. But that's an issue for another day. That is how we deal with these refrigerant issues and the options that we present our customers with. We don't see all that many refrigerant leaks. Mostly things are electrical or like super dirty coils, super dirty filters, hardly ever really refrigerant stuff. So I am just taking off my gauges, wrapping it up. Been here for quite some time, but I really wanted to make sure everything was good for her for this coming holiday, because she needs it. So okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. I was pretty confused. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why are my pressures so good, but I have no delta T? I was like, this is insane. First I thought my probes were broken, but then I got on the ladder so I could feel it, and it wasn't blowing cold. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Am I on the wrong unit? Which I thought I had already confirmed twice yesterday that it was the correct outdoor unit. So I shut the thermostat off. I saw the pressures started to equalize, the right unit. Then I was like, that's it, I'm going in the attic. I went in the attic, stuck my temperature probes directly in the ductwork, no delta T. I put my hand down for a split second, touched the hydronic coil just completely by mistake, and it hurt really bad because there's 180 degree water going into it. And I was like, why is the heat running? I check. I pull the W wire going to the relay. That closes TT on the boiler. There's no W call. The relay's not engaged, so there's no TT. Went to the boiler. Zone pump's not running, but it's still getting flow. So something's going on, probably with like the check valve inside the circulator. They're running radiant heating zones, which it is 63 degrees, so whatever, but if they were shut all the heat off, it probably wouldn't be sending heat up, but it is what it is. So it's isolated for now. They have their air conditioning, and the heating we could deal with at a later date. And she was just super happy that I came out today, because we've just been so busy. Today wasn't too bad of a day. Today wasn't a bad day at all. I would have been done by 4. I wanted to make sure that she was out of the way. I wanted her to be happy. Again, just because she uses us a lot. She uses us for everything. Everything HVAC and plumbing, she calls us. So I want to make sure that we keep her as a customer and keep her happy. And I did get to meet her husband for the first time. I've been at that house like a dozen times. I've seen her maybe 3 or 4 times. And I never met the husband up until now. Normally I just knock on the door, a housekeeper lets me in, and I figure out what's going on. But I spoke with her, and it was nice that she was so grateful that I came out and everything, because the customer that I had just before this, and I'm making a video on that. The video will be uploaded probably by now. The video is uploaded on that. But the customer comes up to me and like rudely goes, "What's taking you so long?" I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm here, I'm working on these 3 insanely neglected central AC systems. I mean, these filters couldn't have been changed in like the past 2 years. Absolutely filthy. The condenser coils, absolutely filthy. They call because nothing's working. All 3 of the AC zones are not working because they don't do any maintenance. One of the compressors blew out, and she asked me what's taking me so long. I was very surprised. I'd never had a customer just like blatantly be like rude like that. Like, I get customers who are cheap and they don't want to pay, or people that think like lesser of us because we work the trades, but to ask me, like, basically telling me to hurry up, and that I don't know what she thought. I'm sitting there trying to clean these terribly dirty, whatever. I could go on a rant about it forever. I was in like disbelief that she did that, but whatever. It is what it is. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Like the video if you liked it. comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Come here. Percy, come here.